black people, according to him. Apparently, he's done like a big big thing about how like white people have been enslaved as well, including my takes
This guy
about the
plays
Ottoman
everything.
Empire. A lot of
He's playing the
ahistorical
Scandinavian earlier.
comparisons, like love engaging
Now
in
he's
these sorts
playing
of things to like
E4,
undermine
E5.
how uniquely horrific
Yeah.
chattel slavery was. It always loops back around to like, well, white people were enslaved
White
too.
people were slaves in ancient Persia. Therefore, they blacks ain't got nothing to complain about.
Yeah, so it's just like completely removed. It's probably the exact opposite of like historical materialism, but regardless, this clip I've been meaning to get to on my stream and I haven't, so I'm very excited to cover it.
All right, let's do it. Here it is.
Trigger warning is the dumbest argument you ever heard.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, obligatory.
Yeah.
It's rather clear that black Americans are doing better here today than they would be had their ancestors generations ago never been brought to these shores.
This is awesome.
We can prove this point by simply asking which African country anyone asking for reparations would prefer to live in. The answer, of course, is none of them. Now, you might offer the rebuttal that if slavery never existed, if we're reimagining history without that institution at all.
Can we stop this for a
Wait,
second?
hold on. Would you now when you're talking?
That would literally undermine. He's like, let's do a rebuttal, which would completely undermine the fake bullshit that I just presented to you. Like, oh yeah, which African nation would choose to exist? And it's like, yeah, that came alongside the inhumane practice of chattel slavery, the colonial exploitation, the rampant exploitation, robbing Africa blind of its natural resources and its humans, is part of the reason why it was left underdeveloped.
He doesn't go far enough to ask the real question. If slavery never happened, what would and like colonial exploitation of Africa, what would Africa look like today? Africa is the most mineral-rich continent in the world, potentially the richest continent in the world if they have access to their own materials. So that's the real
E5.
question to ask, and I don't think that you would be happy to answer that one.
You guys have no idea how hard you're about to be checkmated by his
Okay, all right, fair
You have
enough, fair enough.
no
Maybe we should stop pausing and watch.
San wants
Then,
bad stuff to happen to black people.
Oh fuck! I got caught.
Your response.
I don't know what to say. I mean, let's see what this scholar has to say about bad things happening to black people in the form of
Africa
slavery.
itself would be in a better shape, better place, and better shape, and maybe indeed
You
black
said better
Americans.
shape twice, idiot.
Got him.
Play
Fucking
Bishop
got him.
Better,
F.
dummy.
You got him.
Better shape, better place, better shape. Okay, idiot.
Tell him, Ethan.
Africans would be better off there. But this seems highly unlikely, and it also ignores the fact that Africans participated in slavery and the slave trade as much as they were victims of
Stupid-ass
it. Not to
fucking
mention,
idiot.
As much.
if
As
we're
much
reimagine-
as-
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely, dude. Yeah, no, totally.
They
It's like-
participated in the slave trade. I mean,
It's like, yeah, no, it's actually their fault, not us. The people that like purchased, owned, shipped these human beings. It was the fucking tribal warlord one time. Like it's his fault actually.
it's like saying that because during the Holocaust there was Jews, there was famously Jews who helped Hitler find
Yeah.
other Jews. Well, it was kind of the Jews' fault. They participated in the Holocaust.
Yeah. Dude, would he say that though? Could he get away with saying that?
Of course not.
No.
I wouldn't dream
I
of
wonder what
saying that,
Ben
but it's the same fucking
What
thing.
would Ben Shapiro?
He'd
What
probably
would
say.
Ben Shapiro think about
He
that?
would
you
probably
think?
say, he raises an interesting point. I would disagree with him on just a few basic little issues here, but ultimately, Matt's a good guy, and I know what he meant.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like the capo narrative. Like they were the ones who were responsible for the Holocaust, as much as they were victims of it.
Yeah.
Like, a completely psychopathic fucking concept, which Matt Walsh would of course never entertain.
This
But-
guy is the worst. He's just the worst guy alive.
Yeah.
imagining the world without African slavery, then we have to also imagine it without all other forms of
No, we
global
don't.
slavery, since
No, we
African
don't.
slavery was
Pause it for
merely-
a second. No, we don't.
Wait,
First
what
of
did he
all,
say?
you are making the hypothetical up. So you are the one who's saying you're setting these boundaries and you're making it seem like it's being conducted at gunpoint. It's like if we eradicate chattel slavery, well then we have to eradicate all slavery. Now it's going to go to an even dumber perspective from here, like the jump off point. But I just want to mention how stupid this take is. It's like, no, you don't have to do that. You could technically envision a world where chattel slavery never existed.
I like
that
to
the
imagine a
Maxim gun,
world where Matt Walsh never existed.
Oh, dude, that would be a sick world. Where the Maxim gun was not invented or was not deployed in Africa, that like overpowered a lot of these lesser developed, very wealthy but lesser developed areas.
It is kind of interesting to think about, though. I do think about that. What would Africa be like without colonial exploitation? I mean, they could be goddamn the hub of the whole. Well, maybe not the hub of the world, but they would definitely be a developed continent with lots of resources.
Yes,
and
they would be significantly better off,
mean, it would be-
especially considering.
Yeah, unquestionably.
It would be
especially
incredible.
considering their
It would
natural
be like-
resources.
it could be like a utopia there. I mean, it could be it could be such an incredibly developed research, or I mean, resource rich, beautiful weather. It's like it's such a gorgeous place that was absolutely destroyed by colonialism. And Mount Walsh is like, nah, they asked for it.
Of it, not to mention.
And you know, it sucks too because Africa's in need of help. You know, they need help to. They're being exploited by corporations now, and they need help to build infrastructure, to build roads, to build highways, to build bridges, to build ports, and all this shit. And Mount Walsh is kind of polluting the well to the point where it's like they don't need help. They did this to themselves. Like there needs to be some accountability that Westerners take for the abysmal state that Africa's in, and you know, accept that we need to help them develop. And not only that, but it's good for the whole world. You know, a healthy Africa is good for everybody. And
well, it's not good for a lot of developed Western nations that currently still rely on, you know, neo-colonial exploitation in the form of like controlling their money supply, controlling their banks, controlling their natural resources.
corporations are exploiting them, but like the world.
No,
would
not
be-
corporations. I'm talking nation states. Like France
China's
has
in there pretty good.
France literally controls the central banks and pretty much the currency exchange of multiple African nations. Still to this day, they have their banks in France. Like that is
Crazy.
insane. That is
That is-
completely
that is pretty
insane. But it's just like often gone unnoticed because nobody really knows shit.
Interesting.
I mean, this is a Michael Parenti take, but there is no such thing as a poor country. Poor countries are not underdeveloped; they're overexploited, and it's true. They are stolen from. It's Africa's wealth that actually made it such a robust target.
And they still are super fucking wealthy. Like they're still discovering like cobalt's the most valuable resource in the world right now for electric batteries, and China and America are just buying up wholesale these massive.
It's mostly
cobalt.
China, yeah. Now,
And United States freaking out because China actually owns most of it now, and you know, trillions of dollars worth of cobalt and other rare earth elements that could just like in the Congo no less, like it could make them one of the wealthiest GDP or like per capita income countries in the whole world, like
Yeah.
Norway or some shit.
yeah.
But they're out there fucking, you know, picking through the dirt with pickaxe, getting buried by excavators and shit. And then people like Matt Walsh point fingers and laugh at how medieval they are, how uncivilized. And they're just, it's like, you fuck, you fuck.
I mean, Congo is a great example, right? When you think about Congo, you're like, oh, it has all these natural resources. What happened? Well, fucking Belgium happened. You know what I mean? That's what happened. They would cut the fucking ears off and the hands and
Right.
and you know, they would chop off the hands and legs and arms and ears of like every fucking eligible working Congolese man.
It makes it hard to develop when there is
Yeah.
someone who's cutting off the limbs.
Only
Everybody.
Literally and
only gaining their
figuratively.
independence in like 1960.
So anyway, go off Matt Walsh.
Mention, if we're reimagining the world without African slavery, then we have to also imagine it without all other forms of global slavery, since African slavery was merely one variety, one offshoot.
What are you talking about? What the fuck does that even mean, dummy? You want to erase slavery? Okay, I'm down for that. But you're going to have to imagine a lot harder than you are right now to picture what that would look like.
Of this global institution. And now we have totally, at that point, rewritten the history of the world in a way so dramatic that it's absolutely impossible to say which individuals today would end up worse or better in this alternate universe. I mean, if you go back in time and get rid of slavery from the entire world, you have just, it's impossible to say what the world looks like right now. Actually, what we can say is that we'd all end up worse. All of us today would.
You cannot fucking say that.
No, just listen
You're
to
about
what
to
he's
get
gonna say.
owned
He's
so
like a
fucking
kid.
hard, dude. You're about to get so
He
owned.
goes, okay. I mean, he's like, if we go back, the one thing we know for sure, we can never imagine the outcome, but the one thing we know is that we're all worse off.
Be in a worse spot if slavery never existed at all across the entire globe.
Interesting.
Because a change that significant would likely shift the course of events in a way that would mean none of us would even exist. It would be a world full
Okay, dub, easy dub, checkmate.
Have you considered the multiverse, Ethan?
That actually,
Bro,
actually is a Back to the Future moment, Zach.
Bro, that's such a
From
dumb.
the picture, bring back slavery, hurry!
Yeah, it's like there's no reason to ever have
Man, I still can't get over the fucking Matt Walsh take.
alternative history
So stupid.
because
It's so good. He's just like, have you considered the Back to Future fucking scenario if slavery didn't happen? Yeah, I don't think you did.
Although he's too dumb, like, to use that logic and not realize that it works both ways. Like, there's people not existing right now because slavery. Like, if slavery hadn't happened, you know, there's people not existing right now. Like, the logic goes both ways. Like, he's too dumb to like realize that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a butterfly effect. Good one, dude.
Yeah, it's like that pseudo-intellectual shit where, like, they'll do the butterfly effect. Like, I've seen that in so many movies, but they never consider, like, it could, like, the dominoes could fall in the positive direction. Like, it doesn't just have to only be negative. The whole point of it being random is it can be anything. And, like, if you're already starting at such a bad point, like, if you're starting at, like chattel slavery, like, it's not going to be that hard to get a better outcome than that. Like,
Check.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I don't know, it's just conservatives and being pseudo-intellectuals, you know? Just reminds me of, like, Ben Shapiro, this fucking algebra problem on, like, I don't even remember what, it was so stupid looking. I can't remember what it was. It was something really dumb. He, like, used the X's for multiplication, like, no one that does STEM would ever do that. It's so fucking dumb. Because it looks so ugly and it's so hard to read. Just like something a humanities major would do. Fucking idiot.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that. They were making fun of that too. That's, yeah.
Yeah,
He
it
was
was so
he just like
disgusting.
made up like a random math formula.
Yeah, it was so stupid looking.
if that's how you end every argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if the Holocaust didn't happen, you wouldn't exist. Like, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it was
okay.
stupid for like many reasons, but the X's, it was unforgivable. That
Like,
that
why
really
would you even
triggered me.
engage in this, like, potential hypothetical scenario
You
if
know,
you were gonna
Cause
own
you actually
the
like know that
argument
shit or
by
what?
saying, like, well,
It's
butterfly
just so
theory is
stupid because
gonna
nobody that does
work.
math does that. It's something only an
Or
idiot
no,
would
the
do
butterfly
because
effect.
uses your X's uses a variable. You don't use it for multiplication. It just makes things look confusing.
He's like,
Like for multiplication, you use dots. Like that's what literally everyone does that does math.
Childish
Like, it's just how you know he's a fucking dumbass.
I've ever heard, and you know some dumbasses are going, that boy, he's so right. He's got some
lot.
good
The
ideas.
thing with like divides, like if you ever see someone that uses like the horizontal bar and then the dots above the bar,
Yeah, it doesn't
you know that
everyone
person
is
does not know
hateful.
math.
It's hateful and dumb.
Like nobody would do
And,
that. That does
Yeah,
math. Like,
checkmate atheist.
it's so like
absolutely
like
fucking
so
own.
confusing. It's like something that you do when you're like a child.
It's like a
When you're like first learning shit.
It's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about?
dumb.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
So okay,
Like,
Dave
why-
Wire, we
why-
love
Yeah,
you.
that triggered me. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
just don't get why you would even bring this
Humanity
up.
major trying to
Like, if
steal
you were
STEM Lord
just gonna
Valor.
say, well, none of us would
Unacceptable.
exist, fucking owned. Like, yeah. I know.
Unacceptable.
Okay.
Just stick to being like
I wanna
transphobic
talk about this
fascist. That's what you're good at.
North Carolina shit. So there was this fucking person, okay? She.
Yeah, I was like speaking of that though, like I was just watching an anime just now, and like
What was her office?
the character
North
apparently is
Carolina.
trans, and I just like I go down in the comments. I already know what's gonna happen. People just flipping out. Like some people are just triggered in the comments. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, Chicago.
Democrat for House District 112. So you ran as a House Democrat for North Carolina. She ran on a strict, like basically part. She
I
was,
am
like,
triggered.
pro-choice.
If you scroll down just a little bit more on her website, it keep going. More. There you go.
Just like,
Here's
yeah,
what she cares
just
about.
they're trying to push
Building
their
a strong
trans
economy,
agenda as one of
raising
the
minimum wage,
comments.
support small
Check.
businesses,
Yeah.
expand job training, enact paid
It's the
family and
trans
medical leave.
agenda.
She wants to expand Medicare, rein in
Medicaid.
Medicaid, support healthcare workers, invest
Yeah, that
in
shit's great.
child
No, she
health.
doesn't.
And people are like,
We'll hear
they have like a
No, the
legitimate fear.
grossest lie in that, which you scrolled past, is actually the fact that she was as a
Trans
former
mafia's
teacher and
coming for
assistant
me.
principal.
The trans mafia is
Fucking
coming.
racist.
Which
Assistant
school was she an assistant principal of is very important.
Okay.
Not mentioned in the
Up at
fucking
night.
article or in her website. She talks about the equitability of funding public schools. She worked for a fucking charter school. That's all you need to know.
Shocking.
She's a charter school mom. She's a charter school principal. And she snuck into the ranks of the Democrats in a deep blue district, won it, and then flipped the fucking seat.
I've
It is
never
so
heard of anything.
disgusting.
But she writes like basically she's pro LGBT plus. I don't see anything on here about pro-choice, but I heard she was like,
There's in the doc. There's a tweet of hers from last year during the campaign.
so she was like hardcore pro-choice. Let's see. Here's the tweet about it. It's still up.
It's still up as of last night.
So she says, now more than ever, we need leaders who will be unwavering and unapologetic in their support of abortion rights. I will fight to codify Roe and continue my strong record of defending the right to choose. So she got elected.
I'm not even kidding. I think she got an abortion. If I'm not misremembering, I'm pretty sure she actually got an abortion and talked about it.
So she is, now that she's
Yeah,
won this,
she did. I was right.
Yep, you're
yeah.
right. I see it.
Well,
Yeah, Trisha Cotham once spoke of her abortion,
Well,
which she
she's
helped the North
pro-abortion.
Carolina
What's the problem?
Republicans. Like, she's gotten an abortion. She was a staunch pro-choice advocate. Clearly, you can't win in the post a Roe v. Wade world that we're living in. You can't win any fucking district when you're like openly running on making abortions more restrictive. So for her to flip this and turn around is absolutely psychotic. It's insane. I think you should go to jail if you do something like this. It
Well-
is the most like anti-democratic thing you can do.
hold on, I haven't really even explained what happened. So
Yeah.
she got elected on this ticket of being a Democrat.
In a
And
deep blue district.
yeah, and so when she wins, then she changes party to Republican. She states she's open to abortion restrictions. So she has essentially lied to her constituents, lied on her campaign, been elected, and she's just like a wolf in sheep's
Check.
or whatever, whatever the fuck the saying is. And she's just like a hardcore anti-abortion Republican who fucking lied her way. I've never heard of anything like this.
Boom.
Cynical, the cynicism taken
GG.
to do this is nuts.
Not
Kirsten
GG.
Cinema with lower stakes. Like it's just like that's what she's doing. She's girl bossing. I can't say
Played this guy 3
exactly
times
what I
now.
would want to do to people like this, even on YouTube.
I won
think
2
our
out of
view would probably
3.
get bigger if I said it, so I'm
We have
not
no
gonna
button.
say it.
Can we have
But
no
I'm
button?
thinking it,
Yeah.
and you can't stop me from thinking it.
Not bad, not bad.
But would the world be a better place if what
No,
you
don't
said
prod further. I just said
doing
what I said.
to her would never
No.
happen?
No, it's just where I'm not.
Here
Don't
she-
prod. Don't
Here
prod.
well, certainly she should. Certainly she should go to jail, right? I don't know. There's no laws. This has never happened before, but it's so cynical.
Yeah.
Like now, when people are running,
Whoa,
we have
Bishop
to
H
question if
4.
they're fucking like lying about their whole platform
What?
to switch parties.
Check.
What the fuck is this shit? Here she is announcing that she's switching to Republican.
Check.
This is
And
Main
this is
4.
How long after she won? 3 months.
Gee.
Check.
do. If you don't do exactly
Check.
what anyone
Checkmate.
who has free thought, free judgment, has solutions, who wants to get to work to better our state, not just sit in a meeting and have a workshop.
Didn't see Bishop
Check.
H4.
workshop, but really work with individuals.
Yeah, so this was obviously like some really cynical plan from the beginning to get in and be like, the Democrats, they just don't work. They just don't do anything. I need to join the Republican Party. I mean, like, do you guys? I'm starting to think that they don't even like democracy.
Check.
You're starting to think that, huh?
Yeah, you
I
don't say.
I just
You
don't
don't
think
say
that they
that
really like that.
fascist reactionaries don't like democracy all
Yeah.
too much.
To get things done, because that's what real public servants do. If you don't do exactly what Democrats want you to do, they will try to bully you. They will try to cast you aside.
Oh my God.
I saw that when I first filed for office and was told, why didn't you ask for our permission? I didn't think I needed to do that as a female. And quite frankly, I was offended. But when I came back to this legislature, I knew times were different and things had changed.
Oh,
I
why is
also
it playing
knew
for
that
me?
I was different. I had been through a lot in
In
life.
3 months.
And so I
Shit.
am just
Blah, blah,
and
blah.
I'm proud.
They didn't
of that.
elect different you, dummy.
I'm not kidding. Because of how quickly this happened and because of the significance of this flip, which offers North Carolina Republicans power in the state, there is speculation currently that this might have been, there might have been some underhand, business dealings behind the scenes.
This is what happened if
How
slavery.
could you not speculate that? Like, of course.
Wait. If slavery never happened, this is what.
Oh,
Check.
no.
I can't tell if this is objectively worse or better. I don't know.
It's just different. We can probably imagine the
Yeah.
outcome.
So like, what? Steven Crowder's woke? Like, is that what's
I
going
think they're
on?
woke, yeah, or I guess, or I think they're woke.
Tim Pool still lost his hairline though. Big L.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
Tim-
So yeah, he played.
There's no
Oh.
timeline where
D6.
Tim Pool doesn't lose his entire hair.
I gotta hear this, dude.
It became
I just
very
captured
clear to me early on in January that you better vote in line with everything Governor Cooper tells you to do. From signing on to bills, to he wanted to pick your seat on the House floor, to your committee
It's been 3
requests.
months.
All of this sense
She's
of
barely got her
control.
like presentation, her
I will
orientation
not
done.
be controlled by anyone.
Okay, girl.
He is such a boss.
And you have the full support of the Republican Party.
Oops. C5, bishop
I've always
B7.
been a free thinker, a woman of faith,
Pause it for a second.
person of
I just gotta say
independent
something.
judgment.
Major, once again, like the Democrats are responsible.
Oh wait,
for
what?
this,
That's not
okay?
even the right.
They are. Like, this is a person that was not thoroughly vetted, that was backed by Emily's
well.
list, by the way. Another fucking incredible dub for the Democratic Party infrastructure.